Okay, so for example 3, you need to get y by itself. And what did you say to do first? Okay, great. You guys are getting this. So you want to get the x. Remember, the x and the y need to be on opposite sides, not on the same side. Since x is on the same side, you want to subtract it to the other side. And so the x's will cancel. Do not forget to carry the minus down with the 3y. So it is negative 3y equals, and again, you can actually put the x term before the number. In fact, you should, because that's going to put it in y-intercept, slope-intercept form. So negative x minus 6. What's the next thing you're going to do? Divide both sides by negative 3. Correct. That way the negative 3 on the left will cancel. So you get negative 3, and remember you're dividing both the entire sides by negative 3. So divide the left side by negative 3, the right side by negative 3. The negative 3's are going to cancel on the left, and we get y. And then what I like to do is divide each term on the other side by negative 3. So it's going to be negative x divided by negative 3 minus 6 divided by negative 3. And then we can go ahead and simplify that. So what does negative x over negative 3 simplify to? 1/3 x, right? Because it's a negative over a negative, and the 3 stays on the bottom, and then there's a 1, so it's 1/3 x. And then minus 6 divided by negative 3. So it's going to be plus 2. Okay, so that's step 1. We've converted it. So it's next says find the y-intercept. So what would the y-intercept be? Okay, so I'm going to write b equals 2. Next step is to plot the y-intercept. So let's go to the graph and plot the y-intercept. Is going to be at 2. And remember, that's for the y-axis, not the x-axis. So I'll put 0, 2 on the y-axis. Okay. And then next step is to find the slope. Okay, so it's that number right there, which is 1/3, and then use the letter m for slope. Then it says use the slope to plot the next point. So 1/3, does that mean over 1 up 3, or what is that? Good, up 1/3 to the right, right? So we're going to up 1/3. So the point's going to be, that's a little bit too thick. Let's try this again. There we go. So the second point's going to go right there, and then we can just connect them with a line for the final step. Wrong graph. Oh no, that is the wrong graph. This graph. Okay. Not perfect, but that makes a line. Yeah. Do what? Yeah. Some of you were struggling with this on the test. No, example 4. Yeah. Y equals 7. Okay. Y equals 7. Let's go ahead and hold on. Let's convert this to slope-intercept form. This is what I told you guys. Now you don't necessarily have to convert it, but if there's no x there, you can put a 0 before an x and then pull the 7 down, just like that. Okay? So that automatically tells you that the y-intercept is what?
0.
No.
No, the y-intercept is 7.
7. The slope is 0.
So your answer is 0.
Okay, now let's plot the y-intercept. Let's go up to y equals 7 and graph a point. Now if the slope is 0, is it horizontal or vertical line? Okay, good. So when we go to graph this one, it's going to be a horizontal line with a 0 slope and cross at y equals 7. You only have run, right? No rise. Okay, yeah. All run, no rise. If it was all rise and no run, that would be a vertical line. Undefined. Anyway, this is kind of like number 7 on your worksheet. Now, that brings me to the next example. What if you just have graph the line x equals -4? How do you convert that to slope-intercept form? Can anybody tell me?
Yeah,
You really can't, right?
so it's just,
So, well, one thing you could do is you could actually subtract x. This is going to look a little weird. Then you'd have 0 equals -x minus 4. The problem is there's no y, so technically it would be 0y equals -x minus 4. Okay? And so even though it looks like the slope might be -1, there is no y, okay? It's 0. What did we talk about when we said x is equal to a number? Is it vertical or horizontal line? Vertical. So we go to -4, we plot a point, and then we draw a vertical line. So when you really can't convert it to slope-intercept form, because you really can't get, y by itself, you have to just graph a vertical line. Now let's do that example you were mentioning, which is, yes, -1/3 y equals -x minus 4/3. Can anybody tell me how you would get y by itself?
You divide it by 1/3. Oh, you did. Got it.
Reciprocal.
oh,
We talked about this. We actually spent one whole day, one whole lesson on multiplying both sides by their reciprocal to get something by itself. Right, so let me just rewrite the problem here. Well, at least on the left. What's the reciprocal of -1/3? Okay, -3, right? -3/1. So we're going to multiply the left side by that, and that means we have to multiply the right side by that. So on the left, that's going to cancel because anything times its reciprocal is 1. So on the left, we're just going to have y. And on the right, we have to do the -3 times -x. What is that?
3/1. Yeah, 3/1.
Okay, right, 3/1x. You can just write 3x, same thing. And then we have to take the -3/1 and multiply it by the -4/3. I'm actually going to go ahead and show that so you guys don't get confused. We'll do it in 2 steps. Okay, there is a shortcut though, because you can cross cancel. You have a -3 here and a 3 there. Yeah, it just becomes 4, right? The negatives are going to cancel, the 3's are going to cancel. It's going to become +4. Y equals 3x, or 3/1x, just so you can do your slope, plus 4. So your y-intercept is 3. Well, for y-intercept, you just go to the y-axis and you plot 3, remember? On the y-axis. So that means at y equals 3, I'm just going to put a point. And then for the slope, it's, oh, wait a minute, you're right. It's 4. I did not write, I skipped a step. Okay, let's write b equals 4. You were right, John. B equals 4 and slope equals 3/1. All right, so when I go to plot my y-intercept, I need to erase that. It's going to be at 4. And the slope is 3/1, right? Yeah, up 3/1. So we go up 3 to 7 and over 1. Plot the next point, and then connect them with the line.
Our graph doesn't have 7.
You can go down 3. You can go down 3 and 1 to the left, and you'll get the same answer. Okay? Just let me know.